So, Brandon, we already discussed this a bit earlier, but in slot one right here, we have Justin James.
Yes.
He's a world champion, 2017, and today he hasn't hit a single ball yet, but he's already looking good.
Yes. I mean, look at that. He's got the hat off, the hair up, sunglasses on. I've never seen him with sunglasses on. He is just rocking it right now.
Also, what about his shorts? Are they short?
I would say those are adequate.
Adequate.
Those are
Really?
adequate. Those aren't like short, but they're short.
Let me put it this way: his quads make him look very tight.
If I wore those, yeah, it would not look anything similar at all.
But he's looking good. His swing is looking good too, and we have some condition changes up here. Actually, it's more downwind now. I wouldn't say it's gusting, but it's changing frequently. So it's getting a bit more, a bit less. Now it's like, what would you say? How fast is that?
I would say it's probably about 10 miles an hour right now.
Yeah. And now they're starting. In slot one, we have Justin James. Slot two, we have Travis Geertz. Slot three, Cam Swanson. And we have the Ghost player who already hit all of his balls out of bounds.
He's so good.
In slot four.
He's so consistent.
Good and bad at the same time. So curious about JJ's numbers here, actually. And I've seen him all over the place, to be honest with you. I've seen him cruise at like 205, and I've seen him go like high 220s. So let's see what he's doing here.
Yeah, I feel like today he's just going to be in kind of cruise control. He doesn't need to do anything special. I mean, former world champ and just all around stud. He doesn't. Yeah, he's a smooth swinging it right now at 216.
216 smoothie.
It's unfortunate that somebody can do that because I can't.
But I mean, he's not looking like he's really ripping the golf club, obviously, right? But let's see if he's trying to amp it up like throughout the set or even a bit later. 376
that's a
from
good
Travis.
start. That's a good start.
Wow.
We'll see what JJ if he sees that, if that's going to play into how hard he starts to swing at it, because you never know. With this wind shifting, you want to take advantage of it right now, get a good one in play before it shifts, and then you kind of have to start stepping on the gas.
Yeah. And, I mean, we're hitting at the same time. That's why we hit this format with 4 people at the same time, at the same tee box, hitting the same balls and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But during this set, in those 2.5 minutes, conditions can change. So you want to hit the right ball at the right time. You're absolutely right. And you better take advantage of it when it's there.
That's kind of what differentiates the top tier players to those who are working to make their way up in the ranking system, is taking advantage when the moment calls for it. And JJ is no stranger to doing that. He's done that time and time again. Another 217 just bullet down.
Want me to tell you something?
Tell me something.
He launched at 3 degrees.
That's silly.
A stinger.
That's silly.
Do that. I mean, that is so tough to do, to be honest with you, but not the right play for these conditions.
No. So for those of you listening right now, the higher launch you get it with it downwind is exactly, you want it to launch really high so that the wind can carry it. So a 3-degree launch, that's what you would want in a into the wind situation.
Oh yeah.
So we would like for him to be around like 12 to 14 degrees of launch to optimize those numbers.
Yeah, potentially even higher. Like Scotty Perriman and guys go like 16, 18. If you want to, you can probably go 20, right? Because he's so versatile. But right now, you definitely don't want to be single digits. You want to be minimum double digits, better 14, 16, maybe 18.
Mm-hmm.
The grid doesn't roll either. So it's not rolling as much as in March or May. So it was overseeded, I guess, a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's overseeding season. So you really want to launch it high to get the most out of your carry.
There we go.
We got a 399 right there. With a 3-degree launch? All right.
That's impressive.
We got a question in the chat. So, guys, we're actually trying to monitor the chat as well. So if you have any questions or anything, far away right now. And we've got a question from Bavarian Overlander, and that is, what's the best way to start in PLDA if not living in the USA? So there's a couple of affiliates, depending on where you are in the world, all over the place. So we have affiliates in Europe, in Japan, in South Africa, in Australia. So just check your nearest option to just try and go out and compete, because you can simply sign up for an event and test yourself against the best people in that area, and then you'll see if you can keep up or what you got to improve on to make your make your way out here eventually, right? Because there's going to be qualifiers all over the world to make it to the World Championship, and all you can do is try. You'll never know how good you are until you try, and that's pretty much the starting point of every single competitor out here, I would guess.
It is exactly it. You got to give it a try, whether it's in an amateur division or if you think you got what it takes to be in the pro division. As long as you are, competing, that's all you need to do.
Yes. And in this set, we have Aaron Hoffman in slot 1, and we have Steenberg in slot 2. That is very interesting, and he's like addressing the golf ball for 25 seconds here on his first shot. That's very interesting. I haven't seen him compete in a long time, so it's going to be very interesting to see him, and he's been a force over the last, I would think, minimum 5 years, and he's a former world number 1, so he turned world number 1 in 2019 until Kyle took over.
He flights it so well. He hits the center of the face a lot.
I agree.
He honestly doesn't have too much of a dynamic move in his swing. He's pretty stable, and he just hits it so good.
Also, he's got 250 pounds of muscle on his
I was
body.
going to say, he's absolutely yoked, but
yeah.
that helps as well.
Yeah, he's strong, and he actually connected the tattoo on his arm like all the way down to his wrist.
It looks good. He is looking good.
Yeah. Look how he's hovering over the golf ball for quite some time, and what he's doing in his swing actually, and that's very interesting. He's shifting to the right fairly early, just a little trigger to the right, and then he's starting a swing. That's what you see with a lot of people out here. They have a trigger move implemented, just like yourself as well, and every trigger move is looking a little differently. But they all do the same thing. They shift the mass to the trail side to then fire from there.
Exactly. So for those of you wanting to gain a little bit more distance, that's one of the big things that we do here, shifting that mass to that trail side so we can take all of that mass, land it into our lead foot, and create a jumping effect. So we have a thing called GRF, ground reaction forces, and so that's actually something that plays a big part in gaining speed. Getting back to the action, it looks like we got Aaron Hoffman at 367, Ryan Steenberg at 380.
Wow.
And then who else do we have in this set?
We have Soya Matsumoto from Japan at 335 and Andrew Mayer at 346 right here. Okay. So it looks like Ryan Steenberg is leading right now. It's tough to call from the booth where he actually hit his ball in play. But usually what I've seen over the years, well, actually it's been 2 years in Mesquite, but over the last months, in Mesquites, the sides are typically a bit hotter than the center of the grid.
Yes.
So if you want to get a bit of a run out, you usually have to hit it on the sides.
We got Steenberg grunting at it. I can't tell if he likes it or not. I saw on one of his, he was sitting around 210 ball speed, which is
206 on
206 there.
Yeah, but you're right. It's like he's been right around that number, and as long as he's creating 380 a distance, it doesn't really matter how fast you are.
It doesn't.
It depends on where you hit the golf ball, right?
It is exactly right.
All right, so final yardages here. We have a 385 even from Steenberg.
That's good.
Followed by a 367 from Aaron Hoffman, the Hoffman kit. Then we have Andrew Mayer at 353 and Soya Matsumoto at 336.
And not to take away from what Ryan Steenberg just did, but just to put that into perspective of what Justin James did, going 399 with a 3-degree launch, Ryan Steenberg is going to be a guy who launches it probably between 10 and 12 degrees. So that big of a difference in launch, and Justin still able to come out at 399, that's very impressive.
Agreed.
Very impressive.
That's the beauty of speed.
It is.
Well, sometimes you can get away with not an unoptimized, but not a perfect ball flight, right? And still get a lot out of your golf ball. And also, the beauty of speed, the second beauty, and actually way more important beauty of speed is you can get away with mishits.
Yes.
So when your mishits are still faster than the other guy's perfect hits, sometimes especially hits high toe, that launch high and spin low, can go a long way. So right here, we have two Canadians in slot 1 and slot 2. We have Colton Kilcanis in slot 1. We have Jeff Gavin in slot 2, Brady Torbett in slot 3, and AJ Daugherty in slot 4.
So Colton is a very good ball striker. I think he's competing as an amateur, if I'm not mistaken. Very good ball striker.
Is he still competing as an amateur?
I think so.
Hey, he should make that shift soon.
He needs to be a pro.
Yeah,
I mean, he hits it really well. High launch. He just hits it center of the face. And then you got a guy like Jeff Gavin, mid-50s, and is still like 215 ball speed. I mean,
you're talking mid-50s age-wise.
Age-wise, yeah. Mid-50s age-wise. This guy is an absolute freak in the nicest way possible.
Yeah, that's crazy. And he's competing in both divisions, so he's hitting in the seniors,
yeah,
right?
He is.
He's hitting in the senior division and in the open division, and that's super interesting. Eddie Fernandez, for example, did not make that move.
No.
He decided to only focus on the seniors and not compete in the open division, and that's super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Gavin is giving it a shot. So we have a 366 right there from Colton Kalkanis in his first set. That's a good start.
And 377 as he built on it. Just, again, he's a really good ball striker. He's going to put a lot in play. He's not going to wow you with speed. I mean, not to say that he's slow, but he's probably 206 to 208 ball speed.
Yeah.
And just optimizes it. And then
so talking ball speed, right? So you already hit this morning. I haven't hit yet, so I can't tell anything about it. So what do you think about the new ball in terms of how it feels, speed, controllability, all that stuff? So what's your conclusion?
I would say that it doesn't spin sideways. The spin axis on it is a little less than I would say than the top flight bombs.
I mean, you hit it straight most of the time.
I try to. It doesn't always work out, but and there we go. 381 from Colton Kalkanis.
He's filling up the
three
grid,
three out of 4 in play. I mean, it's what he does. He just hits a lot of balls in play, and he hits it well.
So not a lot of side spin.
Not a lot of side spin.
What else?
I think the compression is good on it. It's about a 90 compression. You could probably speak more on that than I could. But it feels pretty good off of the face. I think it flies well. I know that I heard the dimple pattern on it. We're getting real into the nitty gritty here, but the dimple pattern on it is very it's structured really well, so it's flying really well. Yeah, I mean, I think compared to the bomb, it's a good substitution.
Okay. I'm looking forward to hitting that thing tomorrow.
You should be.
I mean, it's always something new, and that's so exciting about our sport because, well, these tiny changes can change a lot, and then you can play around with it again and get really nerdy about all this stuff, right? But what's certain is Colton Kalkanis is sitting at 381, followed by Jeff Gavin 371. They're still missing the last ball, but Jeff is now confirmed at 371. So that means Colton Kalkanis is probably whoa!
Brady Torbett.
Tough call, Martin. I mean, close
wow.
one right there. Brady Torbett. 379, taking home 100 points. Jeff Gavin, 371, taking home 50. And AJ Daugherty, 332 for 25 points.
And this is, so I think personally, when we're here downwind in Mesquite, it's almost anybody's game.
I agree.
I mean, to a point, there's going to be some who don't quite, have the juice to really, be a total threat.
Where the speed is a limiting factor eventually.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But those of the hitters who are at least 205 plus and can hit it well and launch it well and optimize their numbers, it's almost anybody's game.
Yes. I truly believe you can become a world champion at 205 plus.
You can.
I truly believe the problem you're facing is sometimes you have to hope that your competitors don't do well. Because when someone who's going 220 plus hits their shot, it's over, right? You have to rely on that. So you can't really, do anything against that as soon as they catch their ball and optimize it, right? But still, it's a lot harder to optimize your ball flight at 220 plus compared to 205. So when you're a good ball striker and hit a lot of balls in the grid, also bounces might be different, and you might catch one here and there.
Yep.
But now we have Mike Dobbin in slot 2. He's a world champion. In slot 1, we have Lennon Gentry. And these two are probably around in the sport for a
long time.
I mean, tough to call. I know. I think Mike told me it's his 19th year.
And Landon has been doing this for
Uh,
10 plus.
Yeah, 10 plus for sure.
At
Maybe
least.
even 15 plus. So very, very experienced competitors, and they've been in Mesquite more
So
than
many times.
more than all of us newbies together,
Yeah.
right?
And I mean, Mike Dobbin is about the size of the canyons out here. I mean, this guy is just absolutely ginormous.
I met him in Bridlewood last week, and we were practicing one day together, and he got himself a new car. It is pretty much as big as he is. So I needed a ladder to get in there. It was like that truck is so big, but it looks good on him.
That fits him. So
And he's starting with a 354
that's
here.
a good start. That's a good start. Just getting some in play. And then in slot 3 we got Luke Moore, and then slot 4 we have Wes.
I would say Buntenbach. Buntenbach is a
Bunten-
German name,
oh.
so Bunt means colorful, right? It's and
Like
Bach.
his shirt.
Bach is a creek,
Okay.
so
Okay.
he's a colorful creek, and he's showing that off with his shirt.
I mean, I would say that he's got a really good swing. Both he and Luke have really good moves on it.
And Mike Dobbin just went 372.
And
That is a big number. Landon at 364, not bad. And Luke, wow, a 368, and we have a 369 as well.
This is
a tight set.
Tight set.
Wow, I've never seen these two guys compete. Where are they from?
I think Luke did one of the OSPS events whenever they first started up. I mean, he's jacked, and he's got a good swing.
They
So,
look
I mean,
really good.
they do.
Wow.
They both of these guys here on the, not to say that Landon and Mike don't have good swings, but these are very aesthetically pleasing swings.
Yeah, this is a typical version of golfers that hit it far and now make the transition to long drive, right?
Yes.
So they add a little bit more of the power elements. Everything gets a little more exaggerated, but the ball striking more or less remains the same. So you can't really mess up a really good ball striker just like yourself, right? But because there's just so many reps in that golf swing already, but they do very well out here. They really showcase that they can make that transition. And Luke Moore at 368 and Wes Buntenbach or Buntenbach at 369 is doing a great job. But
Oh, look at Mr. Landon Gentry.
look, there goes the experience.
The
Landon Gentry
experience.
last balled at 377, taking home 200 points. Good job
Wow.
there. Mike Dobbin following with a 375
Man,
for
what
100.
What a great set right there, huh?
Huh?
And we're still waiting on the last one from Wes. I know he looked like he didn't like it too much, but this was a solid set.
Wow, if he's beating 377 on that last ball with a one-hand finish, that would
Okay.
be a little cocky.
360.
Right? That's a 369 and a 368 for Luke. So
I think I want to kind of go back to your point here, talking about the golfers who come in. For those of you listening, I would say if you've ever considered doing long drive, if you are in the mid 120s with your driver speed as a regular golfer, you can easily make the change to jump into long drive if you've ever been interested.
Hey, Colton Calcanis was mid-teens when he started.
Yeah, I mean, there you go.
So even more, he gained even more speed. So when you do your research and reach out to the right people, the right coaches to get you faster, and there's a lot out there in all the different areas, then if you work hard, you can easily gain 10 miles an hour, and Colton Calcanis is one of the guys showcasing you can gain 20 plus.
Yes.
Aaron Hoffman, Wes Butenbach, Cam Swanson. Gentlemen, that bridge is clear. Fire away.
All right. So we got Jeff Gavin in slot 1, Aaron Hoffman in slot 2, Mr. Colorful River in slot 3, and Cam Swanson in slot 4.
So it's not a river, it's a creek. It's smaller.
Pardon
right?
me. My
Yeah,
German, I
smaller.
need to brush up on a little bit.
What's interesting is a lot of people actually switch to the T-Claw because this turf in Mesquite right here is brand new. They actually filled it overnight for everybody tuning in now, and I think Bobby mentioned it a bunch of times earlier, but they just filled it with these pebbles and sand overnight so you can actually tee up golf balls, but it's not as stable. So, I mean,
Ooh, Mr.
Wes
Mr. Colorful
he doesn't really care about the tees, right? He's using T-Claw and he's going 374. And we got a
Ooh,
378
from Cam.
Cam Swanson. Right there. And look, they're all running forward, picking up their T-claws because most of these guys just don't have 6 with them. So they got to reuse them. So that's why they sometimes
And that's
really
yeah, that's kind of the thing is these T-claws, although they're usually pretty good about staying put, with this new turf, it's struggling a little bit to grip in as much as it normally does. So.
Also, it's actually designed to stay on a string.
Yes.
Right, and we can't use the string in competition because you could potentially use it as an alignment aid. So that's why it's banned. But, well, if you use it with a string in practice, it's not going to fly away at all.
Yeah.
That Hoffman kid doesn't have a ball in play yet, but he looked good that first set. So
I mean, I was watching him on the range. He looked really good.
Looks like that ball is in play, though.
And then we got Mr. Jeff Gavin coming in at 373. This isn't going to be another tight horse race here.
Oh, wow. Really good numbers, 78, 74, 73. Hoffman definitely had one in play there, I guess. The question is how far it is. But he's looking good. And that, again, another one. Trolling the club, he likes it.
This is an interesting group because you have somebody like a Jeff Gavin he's very fast. And then I can't say for certain what everybody else's speeds are. I know Aaron Hoffman is, like a
mid-200s.
Mid-200s. And then the two gentlemen on the end here, Wes and Cam, I would say they're probably about the same. Probably around that area. But they're putting up the numbers.
Well, that's what
oh, wow, the Aaron Hoffman. He did catch that one.
Okay.
So 397.
Yeah, he twirled it. I saw it. Also, Aaron Hoffman is hitting a very high ball flight. So he's really, I mean, the way he's staying back towards impact is really, really unique. And he's launching the ball very high. And that's how he's producing these numbers, especially when it's downwind. So he's taking home the set, 397. Aaron Hoffman, 200 points.
Great ball.
Then we have Cam Swanson at 378. Taking home 100, and then very close, Wes Buntenbach at 374 for 50, and Jeff Gavin, 373, only a yard behind for 25 points.
So, Martin, I know your strategy is going to change tomorrow based on the conditions, but what is your strategy going into tomorrow?
Launch it high, let it fly. That's
like
what we want to do.
I like
it. Test the turf. I like the turf, how it looks like and everything. I like how the grid is just amazing to my eye with like the mountain in the background and everything. I'm just going to try to enjoy it as much as I can. And let's see what kind of numbers we can put up. I mean, it's all about advancing. It doesn't really matter if you advance in first or eighth.
Exactly.
But, yeah, that's what I try to do. Also, I do have a couple new setups that I'm playing, so I'll play around with those a little bit as well if needed, and then go from there.
That's exciting. Exciting stuff.
It is.
So we got another good group here. This is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, the guy in slot 3, he's awesome.
He's probably the best hitter out of all of these guys.
Very consistent.
Yes.
And that joke doesn't get old,
No,
does
it never does. Mighty pale, but. All right, so we got Ryan Steenberg in slot 1, Colton Kalkanis in slot 2, and then we have Luke Moore in slot 4.
Very interesting. Let's check out the numbers. Especially Steenberg is interesting because he has not competed for so long. And is that a 202 or a 212?
212 it looks
That's
like.
a 212. Wow, that's a good ball.
That's a good ball for
the question
Ryan.
is it going to stay on the grid? And I think it was a little too far right. But we do have a 364 from Colton Kalkanis. And as you said before, he's not going to miss the grid because he's a golfer. He's a very good ball striker. And he's mid-200s ball speed. But now, Steenberg, let's see what kind of numbers he can put up.
All right, wind is starting to pick up a little bit. So this is the time when you want to take advantage of launching it high and get one in play.
That's what Steenberg did at 13 degrees, but only 201 ball speed. But it looks like it's in the grid. And, I mean, Top Tracer says it carries 368. But we got to be a little bit cautious about these numbers on the Top Tracer because it's basically a flat carry in theory, a normalized carry in theory. So they don't really know the wind. You never know how it bounces out there. So it's just an estimation.
Yeah, so 355.
355. But we have Colton Kalkanis at 385.
Yep. That's what he's going to do. He's going to hit good balls The occasional one-hand finish, but
Good timing
yeah,
there.
thanks, Colton.
It happens. It's long drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. So we got Ryan Steenberg at 355, Colton at 385, and Luke at 314. Luke is going to want to definitely improve on that one.
Yeah, and also, I mean, Ryan's got a step on this. I mean, he wants to get those 200 points. I mean, come on, Ryan. Pump that thing.
Boy, that was close.
Wasn't happy with that one, I guess. But, I mean, in this group, especially because of the ghost player, he's taking home 100 points. He's absolutely not satisfied with his set, but he's taking home 100 points, and that's okay. So in that first round, you obviously just want to groove through it. So 100 points moves you forward, that's for sure. And then if he gets 200 in the next set, he should be safe for the next round. But
Yeah.
that's always an easy call from the booth, right? When you're in the booth, you can be like, yeah, just score 200.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're good, right?
The armchair coach. That's us over here right now.
The armchair coach. We don't have an armchair.
We don't have yeah. I mean, we have chairs, but they don't have arms on them. I have arms, but the chairs don't.
Okay, up to the next set. And we have, I mean, I already see Brady Torbett in slot 4. I see Lennon Gentry in slot 2. And then who else we have?
Beards in slot 1.
In slot 3, we have Andrew Mayer.
So I haven't met everybody that's come here to the World Championship this year. I know we have about 17 countries represented, and I will say, I sometimes, just off of initial looks, mix up the Aussies and the South Africans.
Yeah, I did too.
So I'm trying to figure out if Luke Mayer is South African or Australian, just based off of looks.
I call he's Australian. Oh, no, he might be.
But that's the thing. I think
he
a
might
lot
be
of them are
South
crank
African.
guys too.
Yeah, you're right. That is a good question. We should check that. We should actually know that.
We should know that. We should have done our research. But
I'll do my research real quick.
anyway, so we got Brady Torbett at 364. Landon Gentry he's a very consistent hitter. He flights it really well. Just always hits this like 5-yard draw, an occasional hook, but those are rare. Looks like Travis hit a good one there too.
So I found an Andrew that is actually Andrew Murray. That might be another country. He's being followed by Sanded Long Drive.
The mystery continues.
We gotta figure.
The plot thickens.
We gotta figure it out during this round, dude. We gotta figure it out.
Oh wow! Look at what we got here.
This, dude, the 70s and the 60s are the numbers this round, dude. Like 79 from Travis, 79 from Landon, and 64 from Brady. So Andrew's got to put one in play here. Come on, Brady. Andrew, let's go.
I will say I'm very impressed, mildly surprised at how close these sets have been, especially in the first day. Typically, there's a fairly significant barrier.
I agree.
And right now, this has been very, very tight.
Yes, I agree. What I see with Andrew here, that's pretty cool. He's got very decent mechanics, actually.
He does.
I mean, on the recall especially, right? But
Yeah.
how he's loading into his right side, how he's loading up, and then how he's holding the leg and all that. But Brady Torbett just hit one at 392.
He is sneaky long. I mean, he doesn't look like he's killing it, but I mean, just efficient. He's very efficient.
That's true. Let's see what kind of ball speeds he can put up here. Look, that's right around 200, right? But super efficient. 14 launch, 30 feet of curve approximately, but with 200, right around 200 ball speed, he just put up a 392.
And that's going back to my point on whenever it's downwind here. Anybody who is around 205, but as you can see, even around 200, can take down sets and advance.
Yeah. I agree, Brandon. So for all you guys out there just tuning in, maybe watching Long Drive for the first time, we're talking about ball speed numbers a lot because Ball speed is pretty much the data point people want to look for to maximize their distance, because that's your raw potential. And then from there, you just got
Yeah.
to optimize it, right? You just want to launch it high and spin it low, or depending on conditions, a little differently. But that's pretty much your potential, your bottom line to be a good long driver. And that's why it's so important to look at those and see the potentials and how people move that day and so on and so forth. And talking ball speed, in this next set, we have a very interesting competitor, and that's Justin James in slot 2. He just launched it 3 degrees of launch in the first set he hit.
Yes.
But he hit it 217.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Ralph Lauren out there is very fast. I mean,
He looks like he's getting ready for a model shoot.
he
right?
does. He does. I mean, I think he knows that the cameras are out right now, and he is locked and loaded. I mean, he looks like he could be in Top Gun.
Oh, we got a tie
Oh.
in that last round, actually, between Travis Geertz and Landon Gentry. And they have not yet announced it, but I think they're asking for an official measurement there.
So
Because balls got to be within 6 inches to be a tie.
correct.
Anything out of 6 inches is a different
Oh,
number,
there
and
we
that's
go.
what we're facing right here. So
And
Landon
Landon.
Gentry is taking it,
The veteran.
380. Exactly. Travis Geertz at 379. So he was a minimum of 6 inches longer than Travis.
So the wind is picking up again, down and from the right.
Which is very interesting, Brandon, because
is.
I was checking the
And
weather
it wasn't supposed to
forecast.
be blowing like that today.
It was not supposed to be blowing, and especially not that direction.
No, and that's just that's kind of what happens out here is you never really know what sort of wind you're going to get. It's going to shift a lot.
Yeah, my forecast right now says it's going to be dead or into. And then a bit later, it's supposed to blow a little bit off the left, but not off the right, because this wind right now is down off the right. That's
So this would be the ideal high draw. This is where you want to just launch it up in the air slightly right to left, and it'll just go forever. And for Top Gun out there, he is kind of actually like a lower and plays more of a cut, but it doesn't matter because he can still put up the numbers.
Yeah.
Because he's so good and just so good looking.
Oh, they corrected it. They corrected the numbers. So they officially measured it again, apparently. And Travis Geertz has taken it, the 100 points at 380, Landon Gentry at 379. That's very interesting. And potentially, I mean, these grit workers are very cautious about all that stuff, especially because we're hitting 2 white golf balls. And also, we're hitting golf balls that are white at the driving range.
Yes.
So a lot of these balls, which are different balls, are going into the grid because people are missing it right, but they usually go a lot shorter because they're like 50, 60 yards back there. But they're very cautious about all that. And then one of the golf balls, it has a green circle around them, right? So they have an equator, kind of. And they just want to make sure that they radio back the right ball every single time. So let's see what JJ does.
I'm calling over 4, at least 410 on this.
410 on this. Wow. Now it's blowing
The wind is
more.
picking up,
It is.
and he's
So
smoothing
that
it.
first ball speed was
And it was
217,
smooth.
launching
Smooth
at 2
217.
degrees.
2 degrees. It's just.
Oh,
silly.
sorry. Oh my God, 9 degrees.
Oh, okay. That's
I
ideal.
I might need new contact lenses right here. It's 9 degrees, not 2 degrees.
That
Wow.
is ideal. That is a lot more ideal than 2 degrees.
Yeah, that's 9 degrees.
Yeah, he's looking good. JJ's looking really good.
218 again. Wow. So he's just
Just smooth on cruise
cruising.
control.
Mike Dobbin posting a 371 here. That's a
It's
good
a good
start.
Yep. So the key here, I think, is you want to just get balls in play right off the bat. It frees you up a lot more to just be able to start going at it.
I agree.
And then, okay, 407.
You called it.
I had a feeling. and I think he can improve on that if he wants to, but
He probably wants to.
I'm sure he does. It's not like he's competitive or anything.
But again, what we see from AJ Darty here is he's launching at 16, and he's in the low 90s, high 80s, but still he's launching it higher, and that's why he potentially has a shot here. So, well, he put that. No, he didn't hit it very well. He hit it 211. Justin James here. I thought that one's going to be a lot better, but AJ with a 323. JJ with a 407, so there's your huge gap you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Ooh. Mike's going after. Ooh, okay. He stepped on the gas.
right there.
Yep, he stepped on the gas. Although it's OB left, I think he can feel the wind shifting, and I think he wants to take advantage of it and just really put a number out there.
So fastest ball speed so far we've seen in the tournament was 222 from Sam Judah, followed by Kyle Berkshire at 221, and now Justin James 221 as well. So I have a feeling he's trying to beat that now.
Yeah, he's gonna step on the gas here. Be on the lookout. That was pretty good.
221 as well.
And the crazy thing is I know he has more in the tank.
He does.
It's silly. That's silly.
That's pretty dangerous, actually. And also, he had a right to left curve, and if he can just square up the club face a bit more, just aim a bit more right with this wind, it could be very, very dangerous. I see 430s.
Yeah.
So, well, let's see if the wind is still the same in his next set, and if he's able to aim more right.
You know, I'm kind of wondering. So for this tournament, we are not allowed to have any launch monitor systems up on the tee box. I'm kind of wondering if he's making any adjustments, if it's different for him since he can't have his GC quad.
That's a good point. That is a very good point, because when you have the quad just in front of you with the display, you see all the spin numbers immediately. So you can make an adjustment, especially based on that. I mean, based on speed, not so much, to be honest with you, because, well, you either hit the middle of the face and you catch it or you don't.
Yeah.
But in terms of launch and spin, you can, especially when you get back a number for a certain spin rate that you wouldn't expect to be better.
Yes.
Right? Sometimes I've seen spin rates right around 2,700 that go a lot longer compared to 1,900, which sometimes doesn't make sense mathematically, but these certain conditions might require that certain spin.
Right. And
Does that make sense?
it does make sense. You're just so knowledgeable.
I was thinking more language-wise, my friend.
You're so smart, Martin.
So smart.
So smart.
Let's go, Mike. Come on, you can do it, Mike. Yeah, he's a very good guy. He looks like a giant, but he's actually the nicest person when you meet him.
He looks like if
2007 world champion.
if you looked at him the wrong way, he would put you in a full Nelson, no problem. But
Sure. So everybody, I'm out of here. I'm subbing out. Mr. Bobby Bradley, the voice of Long Drive, is taking over.
all right, so we got
All right,
Cam
Brandon
Swanson,
Flynn.
Bobby Bradley. It's so good. It's honestly an honor and privilege.
Privilege.
to
I
be-
can't say privilege either. Ever since I got veneers on my top teeth, they're a little bit longer than they were supposed to. But really saying privilege is tough. And Dwight Riddle. I mean, I've known Dwight for a really long time. Couldn't say his name all day.
I mean, it doesn't help that you just have a high school education either.
It
but
does. It sucks.
but-
4.6 GPA in PE.
That's impressive.
Yeah, weightlifting, I got an F.
That's all right.
Whatever. But I'm really
It's not
good at
important.
box jumping, you
Yeah.
know, and I could dunk a basketball with a tennis ball, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Mike Dobbin in slot number 4, 2007 world champ as mentioned. JJ looking good. I mean, it said him and Kyle Berkshire have been the best long drivers on the planet since 2017. I mean, even JJ made the Final Four in 2016 in his first year. The son of Jerry James.
Would you look at that? So we've been talking about Colton Kalkanis and just how he's not the fastest guy, but he hits the ball really well. And in these conditions right now, he hits it really high, so he's going to produce some big numbers. So 395.
Yeah, I was, when watching a couple of the guys from Japan that were putting up, like, say, 185, 190 ball speed, they were still putting up really good numbers. So that leads me to believe maybe if you spin it a little bit with this ball and hit a good ball in the center of the face, like they're going, So for me, it 194 tomorrow, like full throttle. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, you hit it so clean and so good. You're gonna have no problem getting through tomorrow.
I don't know. I don't know about that, but
I
Col-
think so.
Colton Calcanis, like I said, it's a nice clean ball. You know, it's straight, it's high, and it's long. So Cam Swanson, you know, is a blast from the past, a lefty that's done really well at the World Championships. I could say like probably might have been the longest lefty on the planet for a certain amount of time back in like the mid 2014, 15, 16. But a guy that I've competed against, and he's coming back. He's got a ton of speed. He's
Look
at
at that,
397.
397.
He's a good hitter, really good hitter. So it's nice to see some of these guys like AJ Doherty. I mean, they used to run, him and his dad used to run a tour event as well. I think it was the ALDA. They could help me out, with all these questions. Who knows? Who's this ugly guy on this YouTube channel we're looking at?
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's get back to that's me. But what I want to see what they're saying in the questions in the comments. Let's go live here. We're going to go to YouTube, pull up the comments.
In slot 3, Landon Gentry.
Come on now.
So Mike Dobbin, 376.
On deck, Brady Torbitt.
So they'll take third there.
Justin James and Ryan Steenberg.
I talked to Mitch earlier today. He's got 5 events this week, exhibitions. Making second place money, Mitch is. Or whatever, maybe. You never know. 5 events, you can go nuts, It's a tough thing when you start doing all those exhibitions. It's like, it's hard to say no to guaranteed money. So, Mitch, we miss you.
Yeah, there you go. You were right. ALDA.
ALDA, yeah.
In the 2000s. And Mr. Aaron Mansfield joined the chat.
Yep.
Good to see you, sir.
If you guys need a Pokemon card, a football card, a baseball card, anything graded, you go to Aaron Mansfield. He'll take care of you. 192 cards I got graded. 192 to be exact. I had a Mike Trout rookie card sold for $4 million. What else? I'm just kidding. What's the purse? I don't even know. What is it?
Neither.
I don't know. Is it 75K, 100K? What's first place
more
get?
than that.
Is it?
As the number 2 ranked long driver in the world, I should probably know this, but I don't.
Because remember, we're competitors,
I'm not even thinking about it. That's a great question. If I had Mr. Robbie Peterson here, I could ask him, but I don't know. We'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. I mean, it's anywhere between $0 and $100 billion, somewhere in that ballpark.
Somewhere, hopefully on the higher end there.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Jeff Gavin in slot 4, Landon Gentry in slot 3, and who is in slot 1? I love the shirt.
You got Gavin here. I mean, look, Gavin looking good too, man. He always does. Seeing him practice, like he shot me a video. It was a couple weeks ago when he was like 217, just sitting on his porch. So Landon Gentry, slot number 3. Landon's look good today.
So Bryson is hitting tomorrow. He's going to be at the 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time group. And then are the winds down grid right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's slot 4 is an advantage.
Yeah, it's down and to the left. So a high draw is the optimal shot that you want to hit right now. So Landon Gentry, this is going to be a good wind for him. If he could get it a little bit higher, I know he's typically more of a mid ball flight. If he could launch it up a little bit higher, this would be money for him.
And also Jeff Gavin, like I said, him and Eddie Fernandez are going to be the favorites
silly.
in the Masters division.
They're silly, both of them.
Gavin's a high ball guy, big time high ball guy, a high draw. So
the 48-inch rule, I see somebody's asking if the 48-inch club is still allowed, and yes, the USGA made that a local rule so that whatever tour they could pick the option whether they want it to be 48 or 46. So as the PLDA, we thought it would be a good idea to be 48. That would make the most sense for us.
Yeah. And we talked about just in tour events, kind of tough for a PGA guy or a live guy or whatever tour player to try to control a 48-inch setup. It's not easy at all. And especially if you're not generating enough speed either.
Right. You got to have the speed to control that 48-inch. So Landon Gentry up to 381, waiting for a ball from Jeff.
And a lot of times when Jeff misses, they're just little blocks outright. So if he can figure it out, he's the type of guy that can just hit a high moon ball. I mean, I've seen him hit balls 450, 460 on this grid over the years. And I said, Jeff drinks from the fountain of youth, but at the same time still isn't a spring chicken. He's probably 54, 53, 54. I know Wendy was on the broadcast earlier today. Wendy can answer if she's getting on a plane, be here tomorrow. His beautiful wife.
Gosh, he hits it so hard.
Yeah.
And then Matsumoto with, I love the shirt. And
Yep.
oh, the sunglasses go flying.
Yep. Not a reaction yet from Gavin.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
If he looks back, we'll just put our hands in the air like the emoji,
we
like
just
your
don't
hands
care.
up. Did you in? You out? I think his fifth ball might have been in play. No, he has his hands out too.
Yeah, he's
We
not
weren't
sure.
sure. I think he kind of stared at the fifth ball. And we're looking at Gavin right now, 205 ball speed that hugged down the right line. He has his hands in the air, so I'm guessing. I actually like the 205 ball speed. I feel like if he hits it high there.
There you go.
Yeah, 401. All
401.
right, there you go. Yeah, because the fifth ball, like he looked nice and synced up, and the 205, 401. So you got Justin James that went 221, then went 407. Then you have Gavin that went 205 ball speed at 401. So people that are tuning in right now, if you hit a good ball, good center strike, you got a chance to hit it. With the fastest guys in the planet. So Gavin, 16 miles per hour slower on that strike, ended up hitting it only 6 yards short of Justin James, of the longest ball of the day.
And the conditions can change set to set, but the conditions have been pretty consistent over the last 2 sets at least.
Yeah.
And that just, I've said this already probably, I think 3 times, but if you are in that 205 ball range and you can flight it properly, launch it and optimize everything, you can compete in this sport, especially if it's downwind.
All right, so this is going to be a good set because you got Brady Torbett, who's going to be like a 205, 206 guy that just hits it nice and high. You got Steenberg that's going to probably be 208 to 210 that hits it nice and high, and then you got JJ that's just really fast. That, like I said,
yeah.
him and Kyle are the best on the planet, and JJ's cruising too. I mean,
It's
his hair looks
silly.
flawless.
I know. He looks good, and he's making smoothies look really good. So yeah.
So
208.
Last set, Landon Gentry ended up taking second place, so he got 100 points. So after this group is done, we'll take a peek at the leaderboard. 400s got in. Well, technically, Will Hogue was in at 400 before he even hit his fifth set. We had a 425 and a 450, and the 3 total round robins. That was the bubble number to get in. So right now, these guys are trying to shoot for 450. Anything over that should be good.
I think Steenberg liked that one.
Steenberg hits it high, and he's using a little bit more stout of a setup. I know a lot of the guys are using the LD30 Plus, which is more of a 240 CPM, but he's using the 50, so it's probably about 265, and maybe a little bit heavier, like a 70-gram shaft. And Steenberg being a very strong human being, I like seeing him with more of a setup like that. Just dispersion's going to be tight.
Yeah.
Justin James at 403, Ryan Steenberg 374. So JJ's on cruise control right now. Professional baseball player, 2017 world champion, world number 1 for a couple years.
Yeah, he's pretty good at this.
Yes,
this
he
sport. I would expect if Steenberg catches one properly, he'll be up in that 90, 400 mark. He'll be right there.
And the thing for Steenberg, him swinging +8, +9 on a golf ball, he does that in his sleep. So he can get that ball up in the air. And the more we're seeing ball flight today, higher is working. And we kind of assume that anyways, just because we said the ground is plush out in the grid. It's not necessarily soft, but the grass is long and you're not getting too much rollout. So Friday, Saturday, bakes out a little bit. They cut the grass.
It'll be interesting.
Be rolling. Yeah.
And so, Steenberg up to 392. And he yelled at that one, grunted at it at least.
He didn't like it.
And then Brady Torbett at 67. And 65 from Wes.
Next up on the tee in slot 1, Luke Moore.
So it's the first time we've heard it in a minute. They're probably going to lay a little bit more
In slot 4, Travis Gear.
sand down because Steenberg was talking about not being able to tee it up.
Ryan Steenberg and Landon Gentry.
And that's the other thing, too, about when he said get tip of the cap to the tornado tee. If you're not hitting the plastic and you're just hitting the mesh, the tee claw is going to stay in. So, there Steenberg does take his time. Justin James with the taking down the set at 405 and Steenberg in second. Brady Torbett, 367, takes third.
All right, let's check the chat real quick. So what was Kyle's longest ball today? I thought it was over 410. No, he was at 401 this morning.
Or was it 403?
It was 401 or 403. I think it was 403. 403 this morning. So JJ has the longest of the day at 407. If I get over 180 ball speed at Topgolf with their clubs, what does the average long driver get? Just curious.
That's kind of fast. That really is.
That's pretty impressive. If you're using their golf balls too.
And their golf club, yeah, 180's moving it.
That's I think the fastest I've ever seen. Well, not with their clubs, but I think Martin Borgmeyer was 203
or 4 or something like that.
Yeah. But he was not using their clubs.
So my favorite, we were at a Top Tracer range, launch pad out in Calgary, me and Kyle was hitting stock drivers like 242,
Ball speed.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I'm like, I like this. I mean, I even hit 211 that night. I haven't hit 211 in 7-8 years.
That probably made you feel good. Did you feel good about yourself?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Top Tracer bringing in their technology and being in every single slot today has been phenomenal, and throughout the entire event, it obviously gives us behind in the booth more ammo to look at launch. Not so much spin as of right now, but at least seeing the characteristics. You can see left and right movement. Like how much movement you're taking up left to right or right to left. We got Aaron Hoffman, as he said, the smartest dumb guy in the tournament. He said he'd rather be the best at something.
That is his superlative. The smartest dumb guy. One of a kind. You'll never meet another person like him. Always has a good time out on the grid.
Absolutely.
Even if he is the smartest dumb guy. But that's probably why he has such a good time.
Yep. He's laid back. So Colton Calcanis right now has 500 points. So he's safely in. JJ's going to take down the set. He'll have 600. But to be expected. Yeah. Justin James is cruising. He's on autopilot at 220 miles per hour.
It's silly. I mean, it's silly. And I remember you saying that he just gets stronger as the event goes on.
Yep.
And it's silly. He's smoothing it right now. Whenever he really goes at it, you can tell, and it looks violent.
Yeah. Well, he knows how to win, too. He knows how to close, and that's something that Kyle has done such a good job at, and, over the years, and Justin James, and, even yourself, you know how to win. So when you get late in these events, and I know we've been on for probably 7-8 hours and say the same thing over and over again, but when you get to the final 8, especially at the World Championships, it's anybody's game.
It really is. I mean, whenever you even get to the top 16, there's no easy set. And any one of those players can get to the top 8. It's just who's hitting it the best that day, who's hitting it the straightest, the longest.
Yep.
I mean, it sounds pretty basic, but I mean, it's just there's a number of guys who can take it home.
Yep.
All right, so next set here, we've got Luke Moore, and then we've got
AJ
Doherty, Aaron Hoffman, and Travis Geertz.
Luke Moore, AJ Doherty, Aaron Hoffman, Travis Geertz.
This will be a big set for Hoffman, and I like, Aaron jokes around a lot, but he's a good hitter, and he's the type of kid that hits it high with no spin. So if he catches a nice ball, I could see him being in the 70s, 80s right now, and which is a good ball, like they said, the ball speeds that he's producing, because he's probably going to be around 200 to 202, 203. I could be wrong, but, and you're getting a lot out of that golf ball. We go back to Jeff Gavin going 205 and then at 401, but Gavin flights it perfectly. He hits it high, and he hits a little draw. And it's going to be interesting to see him and Eddie go.
390 right off the bat. That's a really
what
good
do I
start.
know?
Just that high
Wind
school
picked
education.
Up. Yeah, but yeah. And his ball speed was 202 there.
Look at that. I mean, that's
202, 203. Yeah,
This wind right now is just begging for people to hit a high, low spinning shot. I mean, you can spin it too and still get still hit a big number.
Yeah, he's got a smile on his face. Like I said, this is a big set for him because he's definitely can win this one, and it's nice to put up a 390 because he can kind of just now sell out and just go full gas and try to build on a set. It's always nice to get that first ball in play but hit a really good ball. And for me, I feel like the best balls I've ever hit in tournaments are the first ball of the set.
Yeah.
Why, I don't know. I think a lot of it just you don't have too much. You're like, you know what, I'm just going to put a nice little swing on here. And you can kind of get away with a lot more when we had 8 balls. 6 balls, it kind of tightens it up a little bit. But still, 6 balls is a lot of balls, to try to get one in play, especially on a 60-yard wide grid. And right now, like the weather's not a factor at all.
Well, I mean, I think too. Your first ball that you're trying to put in, you're trying to put it in play.
Yeah.
You're not. I don't think anybody's first ball is going, balls to the wall, if you will. All right, so we've got Luke at 343, AJ Doherty at 351, Aaron 390, and Travis at 369 still.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the wind's picked up a little bit more, and we're talking a mile or two, but that
Oh, and that's a yell from Mr. Hoffman.
You're right. He's at 202. 204, actually. All right, so we're looking at the height of his golf ball, which right now, like, we've kind of – I'm not going to say we've questioned the height, but 158 is one of the highest balls that we've currently seen. I think we'll get more feedback when guys like Colton Casto and Reed Russell hit.
Yeah.
But I mean, 158 is one of on the higher side of the golf balls that we've seen on the top tracer. So 204. Curious to see what this number comes back at. If it's farther, it would really be like, how much curve did he have on that ball? 50. He had about 15 yards of curve, 16, 17 yards of curve. 18. It's 18. 18 yards of curve. So if you started it down the right side, I mean, that's going to be in play.
Perfect.
It's exactly what
shot.
you want. You want to ride out the wind and let it land down that left center.
So we're just waiting for the last couple here. So AJ confirmed at 351.
Luke Moore, a bunch of balls in play, 345. Travis Geertz is at 369. I'm still waiting on
360 and 390.
386. So he yelled at the ball that went 386 and you didn't get any reaction out of him out of the 390.
It was his first swing.
Yep.
His first swing.
So.
All right. So AJ Doherty is going back to back. We got Cam Swanson in slot 2, Ryan Steenberg in slot 3, and Landon Gentry in slot 4. So hopefully Ryan Steenberg is able to kind of figure out the tee situation. I experienced that earlier today too, where I like to just do a straight tee peg into the ground.
Yeah.
And I had it multiple times where it fell off, and it's an added distraction.
Yeah.
And you don't want any sort of added variables to it. So I personally think a tee claw is necessary if you don't want any added variables.
I 100% agree. Because there's nothing like when you see you training, you kind of get in a rhythm, hitting 100, 150 balls, and you do the same thing over and over again. You become a robot, and you walk into the golf ball, and all of a sudden the ball falls off. You're like, it takes you out of your rhythm, and you have to do it all over again. So Ryan Steenberg, what I would do right now, the only thing that I would change is I would hit this first ball right away. Because Steenberg will sit over that golf ball for 15, 20 seconds. So his first ball normally doesn't go off until about 210, 205, and he ended up not getting that last ball in. So the only adjustment I would make with Steenberg is on this first ball is I would get set immediately and try to get that ball off in the first 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you don't even think then either. It's just like, I'm just going to pull the trigger real quick.
Yeah.
And, give him plenty of time, for those last 5 balls.
Yeah.
And if there is the factor of the ball not getting on the tee or staying up there, then, but yeah, that's kind of the one thing that I've seen with Steenberg is that he really takes his time over the golf ball and has a plan. I mean, he was a world number 1 back in 2019 for a reason. He's a really good hitter, a great competitor, and he hits it high here too. So this is, it sets up good for him.
Anthony Livingston with a great question. Who's your dark horse? He has Sean Johnson.
I don't know. Well, I mean, for us that's been watching these events a bunch or whatever, I don't necessarily think like the guys that are playing a lot, he's a dark horse, but people that don't really follow long drive, it's hard to be a dark horse when you're 220,
Yeah,
but yes, for someone that's made a lot of, final eights, what have you. But I mean, someone like a dark horse would be someone like a Sam Judah,
Yeah.
Sam Judah or the kid from Australia,
Seb.
Yeah. And like I said, for those two guys, they're kind of similar hitters where they're going to be really fast. It's just they take up a lot of room left to right if you're being critical.
Yeah.
But the thing with Sam is that sometimes like if he swings left 3 degrees, he might actually have his face square at impact, so he hits it straight. So
Right.
could he make an adjustment late where he's like, all right, I'm going to aim, he was talking to Bryson, 15, 20 yards OB right and just try to hit a pull. But, yeah, someone like a Sam Judah I think would be a dark horse to be there late, and Seb from Australia.
He's got an impressive move. He's
Yep.
got a really impressive move.
Yep.
All right, so we've got AJ Doherty in at 342 so far, kind of waiting on some marks for everybody else. But I think going up Cam Swanson at 367.
Mhm.
I think it all depends on the conditions coming down into the final 8 and final 16, and obviously who's going to be there. We've talked about it before. Like a wind like this, guys like a Scotty Pierman,
Oh, yeah.
Colton Casto, and Reed Russell are just going to eat this grid alive.
Oh, yeah.
If they can keep it on the planet. Scotty not as much as the other two. They're great hitters, but you just don't quite know what you're going to get out of them.
If I was hitting right now, I would just try to hit the ball as high as I could. Really, right now with this
Seriously.
wind picked up, I would try to hit it as high as I know I can't hit it 200 feet in the air, but 180.
Mm-hmm. And that's
And sometimes when you try to hit a ball high, you actually hit it straight. I don't know. Sometimes you block them out right, the face is open at impact, but I know that when I try to hit it high and I just focus on that normally you hit it high and it goes straight. You know, for myself. But yeah, Steenberg, high ball hitter, 389 right now.
Yeah.
Gentry's still working on a number.
Landon is such a good hitter. He's more. I said this last time he was up, but he's more of a mid-ball flight type of guy, and I would love to see him just launch it a little bit higher.
He thinned the crap out of that last one. It was 10. It was 199 ball speed, 100 feet in the air. He thinned it, but I think that might be in play. I mean, he didn't like it, but
that's all he needs.
That might have been just a number right now. 50 points. He might be able to slide in.
So what do we got going on in the chat right now? Nothing too much. We got the legend TJ Allison in the chat.
Reset. So Landon Gentry ended up going 370 on his last ball. 199, hit it 106 feet in the air. Didn't even hit a good ball right now. I'm still going 370. Took second place. Well, we still haven't. Cam Swanson doesn't have a number.
He could have 6-balled.
We're waiting for the underline under the number. Once there's an underline under the number, that means it's 382.
There we go.
Cam Swanson came in last minute. Another high ball hitter. Like I said, I've seen Cam hit, for several years. Back in 2014, 15, 16, really good hitter.
Yeah.
So Steenberg, that's a good win for him. He's at 600 points, so he's in. So you can see, guys, Aaron Hoffman's in. Colton Kalkanis, he's in. I say 450 is going to be the bubble right now. But yeah, if you're at 500 right now, you're looking good. So Colton Kalkanis, is this his fifth set? Or no, it's his fourth set. Fourth set. There we go. Now we have it. We have the update. There we go. So Colton Kalkanis is at 500 points in 3 sets. So him, just gonna look at his numbers here. We're really gonna focus on his numbers because he hits it high and he hits it straight.
He's got to be the favorite in this group of hitters right now. I mean, he just said it 40,000 times. He just hits it really, really well.
But the weather's been perfect today. Very little wind until probably the last 35, 40 minutes. I think pretty much when this set started, you're seeing a little bit of wind, but it's nothing too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's enough to, 400s are
possible.
Doable. And I even think JJ can go 415 in this wind.
He's smoothing it right now, so absolutely he could.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 353 on the board from Mr. Matsuyama. Colton's not liking what he's doing right now, but he's sitting at, 204 to 206 is where you're going to see him.
Those seem to be like the optimal numbers with
right
that
now,
golf ball.
Yeah, right now it is 100%. Ooh, Wes, Color Creek. It's Color Creek in German. Yeah. Martin told me. So yeah, that's a good ball right there. And Travis Geertz yelled at one, so we'll see what that comes back.
Wind's just picked up a little bit.
This is the time to launch them and get them in the grid.
And this happened in Utah in the senior division. There was a gust of wind for about 30 seconds, and Zach Adams took full advantage of it. It picked up quick, and he ended up taking down the set. So right now, if you're on the bubble or even if you're in, you want to look at some numbers. Now is the time to step on the gas because this is 2, 3, 4 mile per hour difference since the beginning of the set. Straight downwind too, maybe a little right to left.
Yep, 374 from Travis.
I say mentally, Colton knowing that 500 points he's in, it's like that's the question. Do you step off the gas, take your foot off the gas, or do you just keep going? I mean, the good thing is he's got 2 days, almost, a day and a half of full rest.
Yeah, that's definitely an advantage. It looks like he doesn't want to step off the gas at all.
97.
Oh, yeah, 97. Just optimizes it. I
Yep.
mean,
Next up on the tee in slot 2, Brady Torman. In slot 3, Mike Dobbin. And
I know
slot
for me,
4,
even
Aaron
though I
Hoffman.
knew I was in, I definitely wasn't going full throttle, but I still wanted to win my sets.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's got the same mindset.
Yeah, it's like one of your sets. I was just almost like analyzing like it was the final 16 and being like super critical, because you're here in slot number 4. You hit a ball dead straight, but you pulled it left, and it's like, well, later on in the tournament, he's not going to want to take up that much, room, going out left. Like, he needs to be farther towards the center of the grid instead of like the far left, side of the grid. And that's, like I said, that's when you're getting down to guys that, every yard really truly matters. But Colton Kalkanis takes down the set, 397 West. Was it Water Creek? Creek Water?
It's Color Creek.
Color Creek.
Color Creek.
Yeah, 388. Travis Geertz 374. I saw you at 356. But yeah, like right now, like you can make. You're not even making mistakes per se, but like I said, when you start getting into like Dave Mobley mentalities, like I need to hit 5 yards of this grid, and I have to hit this shot in order to advance type of deal. Like that's when you really start. Yeah, that's where the best of the best every yard matters.
I mean, truly, like when we get down to that top 16, top 8, you really have to do everything that you do well, but like optimize it. So the guys who are, 220 plus, they're going to be 220 plus every single swing, and they're going to be trying to hit those, launch conditions, depending on what the conditions are. So it's,
Travis Geertz 374 and Soya Matsumoto 356.
All right, do we got the Ghost here in slot 1? Looks
Yep.
like we got the Ghost in slot 1. This will be an interesting one. I think this is a good group here.
Yeah, you got 3 high ball hitters, and like say Dobbin's just
A
a
monster.
ball striker. Yep.
Yeah.
He's done a bunch of exhibitions and charity events, so him hitting the center of the faces, he can do in his sleep.
Yeah.
And I say Brady hits the ball nice and high. Brady's tough, man. Oh, he's my favorite.
He just
He's my favorite. Just my favorite guy.
all around.
Brady's awesome.
He just doesn't look like he's doing much, but he's throwing up these monster numbers.
Yep. I'll never forget the time we were rooming in Denver, and he couldn't find his car keys at 3 a.m, and he looked for them for about an hour and just kept me up. It was awesome. And his car keys were in my rental car. So,
Core
Brady,
memory unlocked. Yeah.
your keys are in my car.
When
Still
does-
made his flight though.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you helped him out. So when does Bryson DeChambeau start? He will be at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow.
Yeah, Dobbin at 360, Hoffman 356. Brady's still looking for a number here. Wind has died down completely. It's going to be 10, 15 yards difference easily in total distance. So like a 375, 380 ball is going to be really, really good right now.
Yeah. Brady. There you go. 369.
Yeah.
That's improving.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good number right now. I mean, there is literally no wind. It's a 20.
I know.
It's a 15 to 20 yard difference
Easy.
from 4 or 5 minutes ago to now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hot. It's
It's so steamy.
I may or may not be sweating
Yeah.
profusely right now.
Do you like the salt marks that I have on my shirt?
It's so awesome. Yeah, but my legs are getting crushed
Yeah.
by the sun. That's gonna be my excuse tomorrow.
No.
So I got announced for 8 hours, and my legs got burnt. That's why I didn't do good. But no, I'm looking forward to teeing it, 4 inches above the ground and just swinging, try to hit the ball as high as I can.
I expect nothing less, to be honest.
Yeah, it'll be fun. The grid. There's nothing like staring down the barrel of the grid and looking at the mesa. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, there's no other grid quite like this one. This is
Nah,
as good as it gets.
It's nothing like walking up in the tunnel. Like, we had that was kind of cool with the, World Lawn Drive, especially, when they started doing the walking under the tunnel and walking out. And that was pretty sick. That was really sick. So,
Yeah.
But like I said, Edward, Michael, Joseph, William, Bartholomew, Ranches, Sanchez, Vicario, Conchita, Martinez, Hernandez has entered the building. Mr. 225,
The
Eddie,
man, the myth.
51 years old. When you turn 52? November? Okay.
Jesus.
Edward, a member of the Bohemians and the Bombshells.
Ooh. Brady Torbett, 393.
That's what I'm saying. Brady just hits high bombs.
It's silly.
No spin, just lets it rip.
And so the wind is starting to
But
pick
right
up
now,
again.
we've talked about, Eddie's asking about ball speeds, and the high ball, and it seems like the ball is optimized around 204 to 206 as far as ball speed. Justin James with the fastest ball today at 222 miles per hour, and the longest ball today at 407. Jeff Gavin went 401 with 205 ball speed. So, that's the one good thing about having the top tracer on every one of these. We can kind of get an idea in the only thing, like I said, we've mentioned a few times is the actual height of the golf ball, because this is the first time that we've really seen like balls that aren't really going higher than 160 feet. So, yep. So, Justin James is definitely he has been the most impressive so far today, in my opinion. I know that Coyce went 5 for 5 in the first group, but Justin just looks like he's on autopilot right now. I mean, his hair hasn't moved. His glasses are flawless. I mean, he looks like a supermodel hitting golf balls.
I know.
You know.
If Ralph Lauren met Top Gun, this would be it.
There he is. And the best part about it is that JJ can hear what we're saying. It's hilarious. Oh man. I mean, but he is such a stud.
He's so good. I mean, it just yeah. What can you say?
Yeah. I said once again, we'll reiterate, he has looked the best today in day 1 A.
Yeah. A.
Yep. And like I said, he knows how to win. He knows how to change setups. He knows how to change spin, launch, left, right, up, down, A-B, select, start. He's probably the most versatile lawn driver on the planet. And like I said, him and Kyle Berkshire have been 1 and 2 for 6 years for a reason. We got a 2-time Masters World Champion, slot number 3, Jeff Gavin, who we predict that will be going up against Eddie Fernandez, who's sitting in the booth right now in the Masters division. Can't forget David Mobley, Zach Adams, Ryan Gerhardt's going to be around. And I like John Graves a lot too. John Graves, a professional baseball player, has got a beautiful swing.
Real good
and
swing.
And honestly, John Graves, thinking about it with this golf ball and he hits the ball high, like he's going to be really, really tough. With this golf ball. And one of the things that we've noticed, like I said, it's optimizing really well, with the balls in the kind of the mid 200s. So.
All right, so the wind is starting to pick up again. This group is about to get started, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another 400-plus ball here.
Yeah, I think JJ's got 415 in him. Oh, no, he's got a smile on his face. He's going 417. I'm calling it.
He hasn't even swung at it yet. We're just talking on the range. Just gonna let it go, man. See how the shaft reacts.
So, I mean, Eddie's sitting next to us. You probably can't hear him, but he's using the TPT shaft. How many grams? 46 grams. Wow. 46 grams. That's crazy. All right, Justin James, slot number 4. We'll feature him right now. He's on autopilot right now at 220 mile per hour. He's at the longest ball of the tournament. He likes
216 it. Smooth.
94 feet in the air, and it's an absolute rocket.
See, and the crazy thing is he's launching it at 7 degrees, which is still not. You would in this wind you want to launch it higher than that, but he's so good.
Just imagine if that's a roll grid. That's literally at the end of the grid. So. Waiting on a number here. So Gavin's out with the number at 358. Still waiting on JJ, who hit one right down the middle.
We'll go 404. There you go.
Yeah, he said that was a bunt.
Yeah,
JJ in complete control.
He's stepping on it now. 222.
222
Yep.
JJ. That ball has no movement whatsoever.
157 apex.
That's what we wanted to see here.
Yeah.
We're going to see the longest ball of the day from Justin James right now. There's no doubt. He had a little recoil in his swing, 222 miles per hour.
The only thing is the wind has just died right now.
394. Oh, well.
It just died.
Yeah, no, you are right. There's no wind. I just looked right now. There isn't.
And back to smoothies, 216.
And that's the thing, guys that are watching. So much can change, especially in Mesquite, in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So there's always a premium to hit as many balls as you can in play, because Justin James was one. He had a better launch and better ball speed numbers, and came up short on his second ball by 10 yards. And a lot of it had to do because of the wind.
Yep, 100%, because that ball was
22.
222.
So JJ's cruising at 222. He takes off his glasses. Don't know what that means.
I mean, geez, if the wind had been continuing like it was earlier, I think that would have been about 430.
Yeah. Yeah, because those are the numbers that I really, I like seeing it, especially like looking at the top tracer technology on ball height. I mean, 135 seems to be the most optimal, and then that was the first time that I've seen it, up in the 50s where, I mean, that ball had no movement on it either.
No.
So JJ's filling up the grid. Gavin looks like he's going to take down second place, guaranteed. JJ, 404, 394, 391, 377, 404, and waiting on another number.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the tee now for their fifth and final set. In slot 2, Wes Butenbach. Slot 3, AJ Doherty.
Waiting.
Slot 4,
Drum roll, because if this ball's in play, this is going to be, the longest set of the entire tournament, 6-ball set.
Jeez.
And it's really impressive, too, because he really did it with no wind. I mean, there was a little bit of wind on the first ball, and he hit it, 90-something feet in the air, and the next
it
one.
was 7 degrees of launch, 93-foot apex.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, the second ball that he hit, I really like that. 222, 157. He still has one more set. The guy wants to do an interview with Justin, but he's still competing there. Cowboy. Yeah. But JJ went OB. That still might be the longest
of this set.
Yeah, of this group of guys. There was a couple 6 for 6s. I know that Tietmeyer ended up going 6 for 6 one of the sets.
So did Isaiah Joyner in the last one.
Yes, he did.
I watched that one.
Yep.
That was unfortunate for me.
Well,
he's good.
You're still in it. Yeah, he is. He's hitting a lot of balls in play. He looked nice and smooth. But, all right, so big set for Mike Dobbin here. Mike Dobbin's going to be on the bubble. He's currently in 9th place. He's outside looking in. Travis Geertz is at 350. Landon Ginger's at 400. Cam Swanson's at 450. So Torbett's at 550. So the guys that are really going to be fighting, Mike Dobbin and Travis Geertz, big sets for them. So Dobbin's going to have to win. Dobbin takes 200 points. He'd be at 500. And we'll see who matches up against each other here. So this is set number 5. This is the last group of the day. 64 hitters hit today. 32 guys advance. Tomorrow's the same. This is tomorrow's day 1B. Where there's I mean, Bryson's group's tough too, doesn't he? He's got Martin and he's got Gregnall, right?
No, he's got Sean Johnson in that.
Sean
one.
Johnson.
That is a group though to talk about.
Yep.
Is Gregnall's group? You got Reed Russell. That's the 10:30 or 1 o'clock.
Not sure.
I don't remember.
I think they hit at 8:30.
They've got like 7 or 8 really solid hitters.
Yep. Let's see if one of these guys can squeak in there and at least get on the bubble at like 425 points. Let's. Having a hard time seeing with the sun. Oops. Ghost player. He still hasn't hit a ball in play.
Well, the thing is, though, is there's not a ghost.
Wes Butenbach.
There's Matsumoto.
Yeah, I know. Like, they have him as a ghost as of right now.
Yeah, it looks like they're having some issues with the technology
spot number
there.
1. Yeah, AJ Doherty's at 338. So that's the only number that we currently have on the board.
Wind is not really helping much right now. It's pretty quiet. So 355, improving on that from AJ Doherty.
Mm-hmm. AJ used to work with the World Lawn Drive.
Oh, really?
WLD, and like I said, him and his pops were the owners of the ALDA out in Arizona.
I learn something new every day.
Yep. It's been around a long, long time.
Even though I'm not in school no more, I still learn more every day.
Yep. Still working on numbers here. And Wes Butenbach is at 310. Andrew Mara is at 309. And still don't have a number here in slot number 1.
I've seen, I think, more sky balls out of this group. That's just kind of what happens when you try and get after it and you're really trying to launch on it and maybe get ahead and get too steep.
Yep. Maybe you get a little nervous too.
That could be. I mean, this is a world championship after all.
It is. Sometimes it's hard to get that ball on the tee. I've heard.
Yes. Okay.
All right, so Wes Butenbach is improving on his set at 337. So A.J. Doherty, 355. He's going to win the set as of right now, because right now it says ghost player, even though we know there's not a ghost player. Slot number 1.
So 309 for Andrew Mayer. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to get him through. So we're just kind of waiting on Matsumoto here. Unfortunately, the technology is down in slot 1 right now.
Yeah, the iPad overcooked in the last set as well. So
It's like 108 degrees out here, so
Yeah,
kind
was
of to be expected.
I wasn't able to use my phone for about 5 minutes earlier today. It overheated just shooting videos. So you can
Yeah.
imagine the iPads are overheating as well.
Yesterday when they were testing the top tracers with Bryson Kyle and Bobby Ray, I filmed for about 5 minutes and then my phone got too hot.
I got the caution sign.
Mine I didn't even get the caution. It was
Yeah.
like I got the thermometer.
Yep.
Too hot. And it wasn't talking about me.
It's 97 degrees right now in Mesquite, Nevada. Once again, we are live at the home of Long Drive. 2022 PLDA World Championships. This is the 4th group to hit today. And Justin James, I've watched every single ball hit today per se. And he definitely looks the most impressive out of the 64 hitters today. Kyle Berkshire coming off of surgery 20 days ago. Broke the hook of the hamate, had that removed, and Kyle came out here and ended up advancing, and he's got a couple days to rest and get that thing to heal. And he only hit, I think he said 48 balls total today. So that was his pitch count, which we thought that would probably around 70 balls.
Yeah.
But he wanted to hit yesterday just to kind of feel see what it felt like going full gas. But it's pretty impressive that he's out here.
It was silly. He was still going like 224 yesterday.
Yep.
To be able to do what he's doing 20 days post-surgery it's really impressive.
Yep. Justin James, Colton Calcanis, Aaron Hoffman, Ryan Steenberg, Brady Torbett, they look safe. Those are the first 5 guys. You got Cam Swanson, Landon Gentry, Jeff Gavin. Gavin's on the bubble, 375. And then I said Brady's in. Brady's at 550.
Yeah. So Cam is going to, I think, feel good about a second place here.
Yeah. Travis Geertz is at 350. So Wes Butenbach and A.J. Doherty, they're out 325 points. So the only one that can sneak in, I think there might be 1 or 2 guys that can sneak in here. So Matsumoto ended up going 329.
Now, Brady Torbett, Luke Moore, Cam Swanson. Gentlemen, that grid is clear. Fire away.
So right now, I mean, even if Cam Swanson hits a ball and plays, he's going to get 50 points since there's a ghost player.
Yep.
People have asked what's the biggest difference between this year and last year, and it really truly comes down to technology. So the viewer experience, and even us in the booth, it's significantly better to try to give you as much information as possible. Launch 20 degrees. So yeah, that's, Cam Swanson hits it high. So a launch at 20, I mean, he's trying to hit it as high as he can.
That's the smart thing to do. I mean, even though there's not a lot of wind right now, it's still because of how the grass out there isn't even really shaggy, I would say, but it's more of a carry grid than it is rolling out.
Yeah.
All right, so Cam is in at 372.
Sitting high, letting it fly. Brady's in it. He's got a number on the board at 362.
So Cam doing what he needed to do to at least get something in play. And, I mean, if he continues taking home the set, he'll be in.
But yeah, Brady doesn't have the biggest takeaway, but just strong and he's fast. That guy can do whatever he called them, burpees and all those, whatever those CrossFit exercises.
That has to be one
He's
of my
strong,
least
dude.
favorite,
Brady's
one of my least favorite exercises.
Yeah.
Ever.
What's that? Or what's the one where you do the pull up and you go all the way up?
Oh, muscle up.
Muscle ups. Is that what it is?
That's what
Brady
it's
can do
called.
about 427 of them in a row without even breathing and blinking.
Does he even use his hands?
No, he doesn't.
That's
Brady's
impressive.
just country strong, man. He hasn't practiced at all, and he's just fast. He's got great hands. He's good at hitting the ball in the center of the club face, and he hits it high. So it's good to see Brady out here. He likes it too. Brady on his last ball. Let's try to see if we can pick up those numbers.
197.
He liked it,
139
though.
index. Yeah, 14-degree launch. 4 feet of curve.
Yeah, there's no movement. So yeah, that's dead straight.
Holy
So
smokes.
curious to see where that ball went.
In slot 3, Jeff Gavin. In slot 4, Ryan Steenberg. On deck, the final group. Aaron Hoffman, Colton Calcanis, Landon Gentry, and Justin James.
Well, he went 370.
Ooh, close.
Yep. I'll try to get an update here.
I think.
So
Cam
Mike Dobbin, Travis Geertz. This is are they in the
and
same?
Steenberg.
Well, Steenberg's in.
fine,
He's way
yeah.
in. I think Steenberg's got.
Yeah.
They're waiting for this to update right now. Travis Geertz and Dobbin. So if Dobbin wins, he'll have 500. If Travis Geertz gets in, he'll have
550.
550. If he comes in, trying to figure out the bubble. So Gentry's at 400. Gavin. If Gentry, Gavin, Geertz, or Dobbin win, they're gonna be in.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and this might be the one where we're gonna see higher than 450 as the bubble number.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often, but we've seen guys that have 500 points not get in. So it doesn't happen quite too much in this format, but
Boy.
it is pretty top heavy right now with some guys that are there's a lot of first from 3 or 4 guys. So
This is not. Man, this is not the one where you got to win in this set where you got Steenberg, Gavin, Dobbin, and Travis Geertz.
So Geertz could take second place and have 450 points and still have an outside chance to get in. Gavin right now for him is imperative for him to hit a ball and play. If he hits a ball and play right away, he's the type of guy that will build on his set, and he knows Gavin. And I like it when Gavin knows that he's got to win the set. Like he really truly is a much better hitter when he has to hit balls and play.
Yeah.
He's got to go. So you're gonna see Geertz, Dobbin, and Gavin letting it rip. Steenberg just taking his time. He looks
His first
great.
ball looked good.
Yeah.
It was 205. Looked like it was just down the left center.
Yeah.
Jeff Gavin just still has so much speed. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But Steenberg looks good. I mean, he's your prototypical lawn driver, just great swing. Swings up 8-9 degrees, hits it in the center of the face, doesn't have too much movement in his golf ball. I mean, he's a stud.
Yeah.
372, so he's got a number. And like I said, Gavin needs to hit a ball and play here. He likes it.
Still waiting on a number for Travis and Mike, and this is imperative for them to. Ooh, 395 from Gavin.
Yeah,
That
he liked
like
it.
you said, when he needs to hit a big one.
Yeah, Gavin's he really truly is a better hitter when he has to hit,
Mm-hmm.
So I know that sounds stupid. Keep it simple, stupid, but when he has to go all out, he's one of the best on the planet for 20-something years for a reason.
Yeah.
And wouldn't be surprised, like I said, him and Eddie final 2 in the senior division in a couple
And
days.
what's crazy about that 395, there's not a lot of wind.
No,
That's a
Nope.
big ball.
it's a 54-year-old man right there
That's a 54-year-old piece of meat.
that drinks Tim Hortons every day.
Oh, and he's yelling at it. He likes it.
All right, so I'll be interested to see if we can pull up that number on Gavin. You know, and see-
211.
211.
Yeah.
That's
137 apex, 14-degree launch. That's
I've never seen Jeff Gavin hit a ball 137 feet in the air ever. So
That's
let's just
good.
say it was like 160, 170.
yeah. Ooh, Mike liked that last one, I think.
All right.
399 for Steenberg. Wow, this is a tight race here.
Gavin likes it. He heard a whatever
94.
94.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the tee now, the final group.
Yep,
In slot
94.
1, Aaron Hoffman.
I mean, still
Two,
a
Colton
bomb.
Calcanis. In slot
Yep.
3, Landon Gentry. In slot 4,
And
Justin James.
wow, Dobbin 74.
At the end of this group, we will
11.
get all the points, determine
211.
any ties that need to be broken, and we will
Well,
announce
whatever
the
that was.
top 8 players
He'll
in
look
the
back at that. We just lied to
I think-
Steenberg. Whatever. Yeah, he says he's getting old. Well,
Yeah.
that was Jeff Gavin's 211, not his.
It was probably like 202.
It's 195.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times.
That'll make him feel better going into tomorrow. But Steenberg, we lied to you, buddy. It doesn't matter. You're like 207, 208. Yeah. Like you said, at the end of the day, he hit the farthest ball of the set. That's really, truly all that matters, right?
Yep.
Results from that last group, Ryan Steenberg coming in at 399 yards.
So I think that gave Gavin 500 points.
Mike Dobbin, 374.
I think he should be good.
Gavin's in.
Yeah.
All right, so it's set. The final 8 has been set. So these guys are in a victory lap here. Justin James, Ryan Steenberg, Colton Calcanis, Cam Swanson, Brady Torbett, Aaron Hoffman, Jeff Gavin, and Landon Gentry. So Gentry doesn't even need to hit unless there is someone at 400 points, which I don't believe there are. There's a 375. So these guys are just on autopilot, you know, and something that Justin James has been on all day.
Final group,
I mean, he is
He's looked really good, which is not good for everybody else this week.
I've said it a couple times, but he's been the most impressive hitter out of the 64 guys today. And honestly, I don't, he said no offense to Stephen Coyce, who went win, but JJ is just, he's 10 miles per hour faster and putting a lot of balls in play too, and he's hitting it straight.
Oof. Jeez.
All right, I got to get a video, JJ.
Yeah, I mean, what was that one there? 221. Yeah, 221 out of the gates.
I can't get a video.
Obi left, but 221 nonetheless.
Yep. And this happened at last set with Will Hogue, too. Will was in at 400 without
Yep.
hitting a last ball.
Yep.
So
it'll be interesting to see kind of like a difference between like a Colton Calcanis and a Justin James, because Colton is, like the 205 type of player, but hits it high.
Yep.
JJ is the 221 and kind of like a low mid-launch type of guy. So it'll be curious to see the numbers. So 74 from Hoffman, 76 from Calcanis, 50 from Landon Gentry.
224 of Justin James,
224
fastest
from
ball of the
Justin.
day.
124 miles an hour, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe that number?
Absolutely. We have the honor and privilege once again to be in the booth with the DeChambino. Just banging it around there, hitting balls as far as possible and getting that ball in the hole as fast as he can. But I'm just watching Bryson on the range, too. He doesn't have much movement in his golf ball, and I think that, his ball flight at, even like 212, 213, 214 is going to be fun to watch.
It probably
tomorrow.
helps that he's like a good golfer
Yeah.
and can hit the center of the face.
Yeah.
There could be some truth behind that.
Yeah.
I think JJ's just letting it rip right now just to kind of
Yeah.
see what he can put up.
I like his hand set right there. Didn't like it.
Gosh.
227. Hey, put it this way. If I was swinging there and it went 227 there, it's 227 on me.
Yeah, I would make it count. That one would count in my book.
So So JJ not really caring about what direction these balls are going in. He's
No,
he's
just
going
trying
full
to
gas.
Hit absolute missiles.
Yep.
404. All right.
404.
He's fine. Oh.
JJ.
Oh. He's looking really good right
Yep.
now. He's looking
Well.
really good.
We are done. I don't even know how many hours it is. It started at 8:30, 8 hours. You know, it's a good work day.
It's a good work
From
day.
8:30 to 4:30, and 64 guys entered today. 32 guys advance, and same thing's going to happen tomorrow. And then 64 will go down to 32 on Thursday. 32 will go down to 16 on Friday. And then 16 will go down to 1
That is
Saturday.
correct. That
And
is
we
correct.
want as many people to tune in as possible. So the people that tuned in today, thank you. We've had a lot of fun. We love being in the great state of Nevada, in Mesquite, at the home of Long Drive. Tomorrow's featured guys will be the DeChambino,
Might have
Martin
heard of him.
Borgmeyer, Ryan Gregnall. There's more and
Reed
more.
Russell, Colton Casto.
Yep,
I no disrespect to
Ryan
anybody, we're
Winter.
just- yep, Ryan Winter. He's kind of a big guy.
yep. He's kind of a world champion as well.
But a lot of great action tomorrow, so be sure to tune in tomorrow, starting again at 8:30, and we will see you then.
I can do a real full sign-off now. As the late,
Do it.
great Dick Sanford always said, good night, God bless, and drive home safely. We'll be back at 8:30 tomorrow morning, Pacific Standard